Consumer Protection in Financial Institutions is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, and I want to thank Chairwoman Beatty for convening this critically important hearing. The mass incarceration crisis disproportionately impacts Black and Brown communities, and therefore, these communities face collateral consequences of incarceration, including doors to reentry and stability slammed shut as the result of criminal background checks. Now, criminal background checks too often bar our justice-involved neighbors from securing housing and employment. A recent study, in fact, found that 79% of formerly incarcerated people and their families were denied housing due to a past criminal conviction. Black people are more than twice as likely to be arrested as their white counterparts, and people of color are drastically overrepresented in the population of those that are incarcerated. That is why President Obama, under his administration with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, made the case that banning tenants with a criminal record can constitute de facto racial discrimination and therefore a violation of the Fair Housing Act. However, here we are more than 5 years later, and it is still legal to deny tenants in public and private housing for their involvement with the criminal legal system. Ms. Martin, I echo the sentiments of my colleagues. I associate myself with all those and just say, the work that you are doing to center the humanity and to restore others, you are owed the same, and offline we will do whatever we can to support you. But we thank you in the midst of your own uncertainty and trauma for coming here to advocate for the millions who stand to benefit from what we're doing here today. Ms. Martin, 1 in 3 individuals in this country has a criminal record. This isn't abstract for me. Both my husband and my father, both Black men, are survivors of mass incarceration who have gone on to do extraordinary work in academia, in nonprofit world, and they have saved lives. Amanda Gorman said, we seek to be not a more perfect union, but a more purposed union. And I am so grateful that they have been able to bring to bear their contributions, but it almost didn't happen. You and many of the people that you work with have the lived experience of challenges returning home and needing to secure housing. In my own district, the Massachusetts 7, 30% of those that have been released from correctional facilities were released to shelters. And so it is disingenuous to say we want you to get on the grid, make a positive contribution after you've paid your debt, when we're not giving people an ID, housing, income, even for transit to get to a job interview. So again, none of this is abstract. I've seen it, I've lived it, but you know intimately what these challenges are. Please lend your expertise, and could you share some of the specific challenges that justice-involved people face, specifically around housing?
Thank you. To be specific, I share this all the time, and as I talked about the paper, the ID, birth certificate, social security card that we need. But as we know, over the past few years, the incarceration of women has risen 800%. And so as we have the conversations about incarceration, oftentimes women are left out of those conversations, but we do know that women are now becoming heads of households, and we're holding in, we're the glue that holds these families together. So if there's no safe space for me to sleep, or for those women to sleep with those babies, then the desperation sits in. Over the past 3 weeks, the 3 emotions that I have visited the most is fear, desperation, and anxiety. Those very 3 things led me to incarceration, because the trauma that lives within each of us leads us to prison, not the crime that we commit. I shared with you all, and I'm not sure if you caught it, but I served 12 years for shoplifting. Desperation brought me there. Yes. To be released my first night home after almost 8 years without a change of underwear. Desperation is what leads most folks to prison, trying to survive. Where I am and those in my community are today, when we become desperate, we do what we know
Thank you. Thank you for centering.
Congress can help, and I'll end. Congress can help by mandating these public housing agencies. When you get into bed with third-party corporations, if you're taking money from us, you're going to put and implement our policy.
Ms. Martin, thank you for that. And I do want to say that my bill would tackle some of these challenges by preventing tenant screening companies from including most criminal activity in
Your
background.
time has expired.
As we know, people who've been incarcerated once are 7 times more likely to experience homelessness than
Your
those.
time has expired, Ms. Presley.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Thank you.
The